Okay, so this is basically a not nothing academic or anything like this. It's more personal gnosis, and um, this came to me as I was watching in deep meditation um, a oak tree and looking at the acorn from the tree and how its journey is kind of similar to our journey in life, in the sense of everything flowing within everything. The great cycle. Um, it just repeats. So this is a story of death and rebirth, and we'll start with Sucellos and Nantosuelta for my personal practice. Sucellos is the worker within the earth, shaping and forming that which will become. Nantosuelta is the provider from the earth, giving and birthing that which will be. And their union gives to the land, gives to us, gives to the cosmos. So, this is comes into the divine couples type of idea. I won't go too far into all that. But, basically, Sucellos is like the drum, Nantosuelta is the music from the drum. Their union is what you feel from that. Um, they both are working together to create the sprout from the seed. Sucellos is in within the dirts, moving things around, and as well to the water bringing and flowing. So together, you know, together they're one can't truly understand one without the other. It takes both of them together to truly grasp that relationship and to grasp a greater understanding. So, yeah, this is about journey to and from Sucellos and Nantosuelta. Um, this image here, the background, the first image you've seen is what I call inscributus. Um, so basically what I do is I take and I look at Gaulish coins and I try to find repeated images that I see on the coins, because obviously those symbols must have meant something. Exactly what they meant, who knows? So what I do is I basically recreate them and add new meaning to them. So the symbol in the background is the symbol for Sucellos and Nantosuelta, two spirals going into each other. Um, so we will begin the little story here. Um, Now, each one of these has images to them. And if people flow around my sites and things like that, you'll see patterns, you'll see symbology within each thing. And I don't really talk about those things that much because I like them to be kind of secretive. I like people to message me and be like, "Oh, I saw this." So you'll see random certain colors. The colors mean something. Every little thing in the images mean something. Um, so the first part here, um, awake from your slumbers. I awaken by the gentle voice of Nantosuelta pulling me up. I stare into her eyes and feel a great peace, knowing all is well. Her long flowing hair dancing in the breeze. She takes my hand and we walk in her stream. Passing by the now of time, coming and going, visions of what was and is, dancing in the reflections of her waters. As we journey onwards, the landscape becomes more and more of a canopy, the streams smaller, the visions longer. Then suddenly the stream comes to an end. at a great still pool enclosed by the greenest green trees. She lets go of my hand and she vanishes. She says, "Awaken into the next." The earth within the waters opens, and I feel in its depths of its soil, darkness embraced me as I went down into its depths. It was a great cave that I wakened in, another pool of much colder water. I heard a great rush of water behind me. As I turned, a mighty waterfall reached higher than the sight could see. A flicker of light I saw from the corner of my eyes. It happened to be a great table in the distance, so I swam in that direction. As I lifted myself onto the land, a voice of laughter echoed in the cave hall. A voice said, "Come, come sit down." A great green wolf came to me and told me to follow. We passed by a great door, but we did not enter. The wolf brought me to the end of this table. In front of me were wines, meats, fruits, and vegetables. A voice from the other end of the table said, "Feast and be full." "I am Sucellos. It is time we discuss your life, what was, what is, and what will be," he said in a haunting voice. We sat and talked about life, the troubles, the goals, the battles won and lost, the good times and the bad, my faults and strengths. He was showing me all of this. He was very jolly and stark in his manner. We walked and he shared with me some philosophical ideas and ways of seeing, but he told me he would not remember. Only in devotion will you gain that sight again. As we walked into a shallow stream. A bright light in the distance was piercing the darkness. We got a little closer, and he took his mighty mallet and slammed it onto the ground. A great shake in the cave happened, trembling myself and the cave walls around. The point of light grew more prominent and opened up to a great scene of valleys in bloom, sun dancing in the blue sky. And standing in the opening was Nantosuelta, looking in my direction. She reached out her hand and said, "Come." Sucellos said to me, "Till next time or not," as he turned around laughing. As I walked towards her and reached for her hand, she pulled me out into the sun-warmed valley. And a great trembling again happened as the cave closed and turned into a hill. She said, "Here the bees are buzzing. The birds are singing. See the great green fields in this land. And you are part of this. Walk deeper in the stream." As I turned to speak, she said, "Awaken to your rebirth." Sucellos, Lord of Abdumnus, may your dark embrace awaken that which is unseen. May your drink fill me with ecstasy, and may your maul bring me serenity. Nantosuelta, Lady of Abdumnus, may your gentle waters reach for that which is seen. May your sun shine bright and encase me, and may your valleys bloom in all eternity. So with this is all describing the journey of death, rebirth, and life. Now, there's obviously many symbolic ways to represent these things. And within this story, there is many different metaphorical understandings. We're talking about decay of the body and becoming part of the world around us. We're also talking about the soul passing and being reborn again into another world. Within the story, there's also a door that we pass by. We get little weird riddles from Sucellos saying, maybe next time, maybe not. This goes into my personal belief of reincarnation can end, right? The cycle can end. And that is by living virtuous, by living as true to the virtues and being devoted to the gods, to the Dewa, as much as one can. That is my personal, you know, understanding of things. Um, so with this, we come to, the teachings of the Druids, transmigration, um, the passing of one's, of your soul to another body, or whatever it could be an animal, who knows. But we have a few different classical writers that talk about this doctrine that the Druids had. And there's plenty more, but over here on the page here, there's a few of the more popular ones. Um, and it's, you know, you can see these things in nature, right? You can just look around and see this. So it's an old philosophical, very animistic understanding of our reality. This image over on the side here is, basically that's what this image represents, transmigration of the soul. You have the acorns down at the bottom, you have the spiral in the center, meaning that when the acorn comes to the top, and falls off the branch, it does the same thing over and over. And then you have the druids on the side with the one sickle pointing up, one pointing down. Those have very I'll talk about some other time, with those little hidden elements in some of the images I do. Um, but the images are teachings themselves. They're ways to resonate with something, to meditate on things, to go in, you know, awaken parts of the self as you look at images. But yeah, this whole story is about, you know, reincarnation, transmigration. It has many layers for whatever. When it comes to rebirth, right? Rebirth is constantly happening. It's happening right now. It happened yesterday. Um, you know, and it will always happen. But for me, having this understanding, it helps me understand my reality that I'm in. And so for me, there is no death, there is no life. These are just but words that we describe. We made these words. The cosmos, nature, they don't decide these things. When the tree falls, when is it actually dead? Right? Its life, its essence is still giving life after it falls. So with this kind of understanding, it clears the mind of there is no death. This, transmutation, transmigration, things just become something different, but it's the same thing.